Hi everyone! For today's video, I wanted to create a really easy and quick makeup look that is going to make you just look very fresh-faced and awake. I really wanted a very natural looking but bright and glowy base with also a nice glowy shimmery eyelid and then very fresh looking and luscious plump lips. I am especially excited for today's video because it is sponsored by Revlon. Revlon reached out to me and asked if I wanted to help debut their new concealer. This is the Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken 5-in-1 concealer. This concealer comes in 19 shades, 2 of which are universal brightening shades. This concealer is really doing it all for me at the moment. It is very lightweight with an amazing coverage. It also is long wearing. It has caffeine and vitamin C, so it has skincare benefits to it. Really excited to share this concealer with you guys in action. I've been using it for the past few weeks and just seriously I've been loving it. Let's go ahead and get started into today's look so you guys can see how I created this fresh-faced, awaken, everyday makeup look. When I'm wanting really fresh-faced feeling and looking makeup, I go for a primer or just like a base in general that feels very skincare-like, kind of a bit cooling. And for me, a go-to is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer Primer Plus Moisturizer. It's quite runny. It definitely looks and feels like a moisturizer, but it does a pretty good job at gripping makeup and just making my skin feel smooth, fresh, awake. For my all-over base makeup, I'm going in with the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. This is a great, easy, everyday skin tint for me. I love that it has an SPF of 30 so that it just makes it quick and easy. I don't need to worry about my SPF if I am on the go. This is better than nothing. I also love how quick and easy it is to apply, and then you just kind of blend it out really quick. Taking a brush to blend out the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. I think that the skin tint has a really nice glow and finish to it. It makes everything look really nice and natural, but does add a decent amount of coverage. And it just makes everything look really fresh and skin-like. I am now going in with the star of the show. This is the Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken 5-in-1 Concealer. The Revlon Skin Awaken Concealer comes in 19 shades, 2 of which are universal brighteners. They have a universal brightener, which is a pink undertone, and then they have a universal neutralizer, which is a yellow undertone. The universal brightener counteracts dullness in the skin and more yellowy under eyes, but the universal neutralizer has more of a yellow undertone, so that is neutralizing those blue and purple under eyes. The 2 concealer shades that I've been gravitating towards in the Revlon Skin Awaken Concealer are the medium deep 50 and also regular medium 40. For me personally, I do prefer a concealer that closely more matches my natural skin tone. For a more brightening look, I will go in with the 40 shade, but if I'm wanting something that's a little bit more closer to my skin tone, or if I'm just wearing the concealer on its own, which I've been doing a lot lately, I will go in with 50, or I've been liking mixing these two for a bit of a balance. For today's video, since I am going to be going in with the universal neutralizer, I am going to be using the concealer shade 50 so that I can get the brightness from the universal neutralizer and then get a really nice skin tone shade from the Skin Awaken shade 50. I am just applying the universal neutralizer right in the inner corner, and then I'm going to apply a couple of dots right on the outside. I love applying concealer this way. I feel like I get a really nice lifted look, and it prevents me from over applying concealer and having a cakey under eye. I'm also going to take the universal neutralizer and add a bit of it to some higher points of my face, so the forehead, bridge of the nose, and then a bit on my chin. Let's go ahead and blend out this concealer so that we can see what it looks like on its own. Already it is doing a pretty nice job at brightening up those areas. I've been loving this concealer for how thin the consistency is. I love a thin concealer, especially for underneath the eyes. I'm feeling like this universal neutralizer could easily be worn on its own. This on its own is already doing such a nice job brightening up the under eyes. And now let me take it down the nose. So that is what the universal neutralizer looks like just on its own. This is supposed to be a universal shade so that many people can wear it underneath of their regular skin tone concealer. So before I go in with 50, I did want to swatch the two next to each other. So that is 40 and then that is 50. I definitely prefer, like I said earlier, a concealer that matches my skin tone a bit more closely, but the 40 shade definitely does do a great job at brightening up the skin. I think I might add a little bit of 40 right up underneath the eyes, but I am going to go in now with the shade 50. Just like where I've applied that skin neutralizer, I'm going to apply the shade 50. The sponge applicator is antibacterial, so it won't hold bacteria. That was something super nice to know. I'm also going to use this concealer on a couple of blemishes that I have. Let me just go in a tiny bit with the shade 40 right in that area right there. Now I'm going to press everything into the skin with my sponge. With this concealer being so lightweight, I do find that the wear time on it is very good. The visible creasing of this concealer is super minimal because it is so thin, and I love that, especially for the under eyes. It just makes the wear of the concealer so much longer. I've also used this concealer with skin tints on its own, full coverage foundations. I feel like it does a really great job complementing any sort of base. For the blemishes, I am going to blend out the concealer with a brush so that I can get the most coverage. As you can tell, the finish of the concealer is super natural looking and glowy and just perfect for a brightened, awake look. I love the fact that it has caffeine and vitamin C in it, so it just continues to improve your skin over time. I'm moving on to my brows now. I'm taking my Kaja Brow Blowout. The reason why I grabbed this one is because it is fast. It is a fast brow gel to throw in the brows to add color and definition and hold. For my eyes, I'm just adding a bit of primer really quick. I grabbed this Thrive Causemetics Perfect Neutrals palette, and I'm going to go in with that orangey brown shade right there. It's a classic shade for me. I love shades like this, especially in the crease, and the eye look that I'm going to be doing today is just a quick little bright-eyed look. So just needed to add a little bit of something into the crease just for some definition. A go-to shadow for me for every day, and especially on days where I want my eyes to look nice, bright, and awake, is the Bodyography Pressed Glitter Shadow in the shade Celestial. I love applying it with a more fluffy eyeshadow brush, not like a crease brush, but like a flat, fluffy eyeshadow brush. And I'm just going to tap the brush on one eye, tap the brush on the other eye, and just begin working that shade into the eyelid, and then bringing it further into the inner corner. Making sure that you get that shade right in the inner corner as well. Maybe lift it up a little bit. Look kind of up in the mirror and kind of get it in that inner crease right there. It really does a good job at opening up the eyes, adding a nice sheen, shine. It's really cute. This is an awesome shade for a look like this. And then kind of dragging that shade into the very inner corner. If you really want your eyes nice and bright, curling your lashes up is a great step to take. And for nice, big, long lashes, I'm going in with the Kosas The Big Clean Mascara. Really wiggling through the base and then quick strokes going up. For my bronzer, I'm going in with my Tower 28 Bronzino bronzer in Best Coast. I love the way that this looks on the skin. It really makes my skin look so glowy and healthy and fresh and awake, exactly what we are going for today's look. So I definitely wanted to grab this bronzer for this particular look. I love how it just sits on the skin and adds such a nice, beautiful, healthy sheen. I'm adding a little bit of highlight before blush. I like the look of highlight underneath the blush. I think it's a bit more natural and I'm adding it on a couple of different high points on my face. This is the Nudestix Magnetic Nude Glimmer in 99% Angel. These have a really interesting cooling effect to them, and I think that they look really nice and natural. I love that it's a liquid formula. So I've just applied it to the high points of my face, again, underneath the blush, so we're taking blush next. I have been obsessed with the Minori blush in the shade Orchid, especially for days where I'm just wanting some plump looking, healthy, smooth, creamy cheeks. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if creamy is a good adjective for that, but these blushes from Minori are just so amazing, and especially in the shade Orchid, I'm obsessed. I love adding this to my skin. I just think it gives such a nice look, and the color is super flattering for me. The formula is gorgeous. I love the glowiness and just the smoothness that it gives, even for it being a cream product. For my lip liner, I'm going in with the Revlon Colorstay Lip Liner in Nude. This is a great everyday lip liner. I love pairing lip liners with gloss. For lip gloss, I've chosen the Too Faced Lip Injection in the shade Secure the Bag. I really wanted something that was going to make my lips feel alive and plump like the rest of my skin, so I know that this will be a great choice. I think that a lip liner lip gloss combo is a great lip option for a quick, easy, but very put together and awake looking makeup. I'm just taking a really small amount of my l.y.s setting powder, and I'm taking it on a super small brush too, just because the amount that I'm going in with is like so minuscule. Just a little bit on points of my face where I get a bit oily, so around the nose a little bit, and then the tiniest amount right underneath the eyes. And the look would not be complete without the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. So that is the completed look. Very fresh-faced, awaken makeup. I know that this makeup is also going to last me all day. Probably would need to retouch the lip, but like, when don't we retouch a lip, you know what I mean? My lips are feeling so juicy though. That lip injection. I love the way that my skin looks like, especially up underneath my eyes, and then those high points where we were applying the concealer. I just think that the skin looks super fresh, very healthy looking, and I also know already how this concealer wears. It wears super beautifully all day, really minimal creasing, and it does carry a great coverage, so just because you are getting a thinner concealer does not mean that you are losing out on coverage. I think that the Revlon Colorstay Skin Awaken Concealer really does deliver just the best of both worlds for giving a natural looking, thin consistency concealer while also delivering the brightness and coverage that we look for concealers, especially up underneath the eyes. Thank you so much again, Revlon, for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the support, but that is going to be it from me today. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so, and hopefully I will see you next time.